And I saw this next comic's face burned into a tree in Washington Square Park. She is fantastic. Her name is Claire Greising. Give it up!
So I recently got a new roommate, and I feel like there's nothing like living with another human being to remind you that humanity, just like as a concept, is inherently flawed. I'm a sophomore here at NYU, so I got to pick this one, and if she kills me, it's my fault. But last year, I was a freshman, because that's how time works, and here they just assign you to anyone. At other universities, or like any other time in your life when you're going to live with someone, usually you can like screen them and figure out if they sweat too much or watch anime, but here, they just put you with a person, place you in a room, and they're like, congrats, now you masturbate in the same vicinity. And so last year, my roommate was my worst nightmare. She was really hot, but not like in a fun way, just in a way that gave her permission to be dumb. Like, she would do this thing where she would start sentences and go, this is so embarrassing, but, and then say something that was not embarrassing at all. Like, she'd go, this is so embarrassing, but I just lost 3 pounds. Or like, this is so embarrassing, but my boyfriend loves me unconditionally. And I'm like an actual ugly person who deals with ugly people problems, who has had actual embarrassing things happen to me. Like, when I was in high school, I was at a park with my friends, and I had to go to the bathroom, so I went on a porta potty. And while I was in there, the park closed, and the groundskeeper came by and padlocked the porta potty shut. And my friends forgot about me, and they left. And I was so genuinely embarrassed that I just texted my mom, said I was staying with a friend, and I slept there. And so she's like, this is embarrassing, but I just found $5 in my pocket. Like, that's fortuitous, motherfucker. In addition, she was a psychopath, but not like a real psychopath. Like, she didn't kill small animals or generally enjoy listening to political podcasts. She would just like do things that were sort of crazy, but like kind of oddly nice. Like, one day she decided that I was too pale, and so she would, when I was napping, she would come up to me and just put self-tanner on me, which seems like okay, but she would only put it on one leg on one side of my body. So part of me looked like the pigmentation of a love child between like Donald Trump and Snowgate, and the rest of me was like Casper the fucking Friendly Ghost. She would also do this thing where whenever I did something she didn't like made a mess or like cried too loud in the shower, she would just spray the room with Febreze. Which again, like, oh, she wants her room to smell nice, but I'm allergic to Febreze. So I would start having an allergic reaction, and it got to the point where it was like sort of Pavlovian, and so when I did something she didn't like, I would just have an allergic reaction. So in a way, I became allergic to disappointing her, which maybe my mom should have done. You know, like, Mom, I want to be a comic, just like goes into epileptic shock. But the worst thing that she would do is that she would never sex aisle me. And it wasn't because she wasn't having sex in the room. She was, just while I was there. So I'm going to tell you about the worst time that happened. When I was a freshman, all my friends really liked to go clubbing. And be at a club is like the stock apps on your phone. It's like, why the fuck are you here? So most weekends I would just end up doing what I do best, sleeping and crying. So one night again, I was at home and I was asleep. And we had bunk beds. And so I get woken up and like my bed is just shaking. And I hear moaning underneath me like a dead dog. Like the last scene of Marley. And so I'm like, oh, she is here and she is having sex. But I've been on a Carnival cruise before, so it was sort of soothing and I fell back asleep. The second time I wake up, they're both vomiting, just throwing up. But they're throwing up together. I'm a hopeless romantic, you know, eternal love, I go back to sleep. The third time I wake up, this motherfucker is snoring. And I don't know about you, but I hate a bitch who snores. Like, if I married somebody and they like murdered people and had sex with their dead bodies and buried them in a craft corner in our basement, like I could deal with it. But if you have sleep apnea, get the fuck away from me. So I get so mad that I just leave. I leave my ID card, I leave my wallet, I leave everything, and I'm outside. It's in Manhattan, it's 4:30 in the morning, I don't know what to do. I don't want to call any of my friends because they're probably sleeping or having sex too. And so I'm like going through my phone, trying to decide who to call. And I think it's at this point in the story that I should tell you this is true. And comics always do that. They're like, oh, this is true. And then they start their set and they're like, I am Oprah Winfrey's daughter. You're a white 50-year-old man. But this actually happened to me. So I'm scrolling through and I decide to call this Uber driver. And I wish there was a compelling reason why I did that. Like, I wish I'd been like, oh, well, we had a really nice convo and we texted. Or like, I forgot my breath mints in his car and we met up again, but we didn't. I didn't know him. I just felt like he would be conscious and sober, because those are the two words I associate with Uber drivers. So I called him and I was like, I explained the situation. He remembered me. He was in the area. He was doing his last trip. He came to pick me up. He took me to his apartment in fucking Stuytown. We watched a rerun of Catfish together. He let me sleep on his futon. Wake up the next morning, he's making French press coffee. We smoke a joint together. We go to fucking brunch together. He pays for me like a gentleman because I forgot my wallet in my dorm. I help him pick out the Valencia filter for his profile picture. We're living. So I get home. And at this point, I'm mad, I'm high, I'm drunk, because we really tried to test the limits of those bottomless mimosas, and I'm like, I'm gonna confront my roommate. So I go up to her and I'm like, can you not? Like, can you not have sex in our room, throw up in our room, and let your boyfriend fucking snore in here? And she looks at me and she goes, this is so embarrassing. And I am so excited, because she knows now, she knows the porta potty feeling. She goes, this is so embarrassing, but that wasn't me. And then she tries to convince me that somebody came in our room, unlocked our door, had sex in her bed, and left. And I couldn't even be mad at her, because now I get a free ride to anywhere in Manhattan. Thanks, guys.